The hidden science behind Hanuman's flight to Lanka. What if I told you that Hanuman's leap across the ocean was not just a myth, but an event that ancient texts describe with shocking scientific accuracy? We often view the Ramayana through the lens of pure devotion, yet beneath the poetic verses of Valmiki lies a narrative that aligns startlingly well with the principles of modern aerodynamics and physics. How could an ancient civilization describe such a feat with the precision of a NASA launch? Stay tuned as we decode the physics. This scene is set on the rugged peaks of Mount Mahendra. The Vanar army stands paralyzed by the vast expanse of the salt sea, their hope fading as they gaze towards the distant horizon where Lanka lies hidden. It is here that Hanuman, realizing his dormant potential, begins to expand his form. The Sundara Kanda describes this moment with cinematic intensity. Hanuman does not jump. He prepares his body like a high-pressure vessel. As he crouches, the mountain beneath him trembles. Trees are uprooted by the sheer displacement of air, and the local wildlife flees in terror. With a roar that shakes the clouds, he catapults himself into the sky. To the observers below, he appeared as a comet streaking across the blue, a force of nature that defied the very boundaries of the earth. But was this merely magic, or was it the application of laws we are only now beginning to master? In the Ramayana, the distance from the southern coast to Lanka is frequently cited as 100 Yojanas, while the exact conversion of a yojan is often debated. Many scholars equate it to approximately 8 to 9 miles. This puts the distance at a staggering 800 to 900 miles. To bridge such a gap in a single bound requires more than just strong legs. It requires a calculated trajectory. If we look at the modern ballistics, a projectile traveling that distance would need to reach altitudes where the air is thin to minimize drag. Did Hanuman instinctively understand this atmospheric density? The texts describe him moving through different Vayu Margas or wind paths, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of various layers of the atmosphere, much like how modern long-range missiles or suborbital flights operate today. The force required to launch a mass the size of a mountain, as Hanuman is described in his Mahakaya form, is astronomical. In modern physics, we calculate the force of the takeoff using Newton's second law, F is equal to ma. But for a leap of this magnitude, we must look at the thrust to weight ratio. When a rocket like Saturn V lifts off, it must generate thrust exceeding its weight to break the hold of gravity. The description of Mount Mahendra sinking into the earth as Hanuman leapt suggests a massive equal and opposite reaction. Hanuman's legs acted as powerful pistons, converting the chemical energy into a burst of kinetic energy. The shock waves described in the text, the staggering of the rocks and the heat generated are consistent with the max Q or maximum dynamic pressure experienced by spacecraft during the initial stages of flight. Now, how did an ancient poet know how to describe the structural failure of a mountain under the pressure of a launch? To sustain flight over 800 miles, one must either maintain a constant propulsion or achieve a velocity high enough to enter the suborbital arc. This brings us to the concept of escape velocity. While Hanuman wasn't trying to leave Earth's orbit, he had to achieve a burnout velocity that would allow his momentum to carry him across the great ocean, despite the constant downward pull of gravity. The Ramayana mentions Hanuman's ability to become heavy or light at will, Anima and Mahima Siddhis. In scientific terms, this could be interpreted as the manipulation of mass or the utilization of aerodynamic lift. By changing his body surface area, Hanuman could have transitioned from a projectile into a glider, utilizing the thermal currents rising from the ocean to extend his range. He wasn't just falling, he was surfing the atmosphere. Now, why did Hanuman choose Mount Mahendra? In modern aerospace, the location of a launch site is critical. We build sites like Sriharikota or Cape Canaveral near the equator to take advantage of the Earth's rotational speed, which provides an initial velocity. Mount Mahendra provided the necessary elevation to clear the thick air of the lower atmosphere quickly. Furthermore, a solid rocky foundation was required to withstand the tremendous kickoff force. A sandy beach would have absorbed the energy, causing Hanuman to jump but fail. Therefore, his selection of a stable, high-altitude granite peak shows a tactical understanding of structural geology. He needed a launch pad that would not crumble before he achieved liftoff. Now, during his flight, Hanuman encounters obstacles like the Mount Mahendra and the serpent Surasa. From a scientific perspective, these can be viewed as metaphors for atmospheric phenomena. Mahendra, rising from the sea, represents the upper drafts and the volcanic islands that provide a resting point or a change in the air pressure. Surasa, who expands her mouth to swallow him, perfectly mirrors the drag and air resistance encountered when moving at supersonic speeds. Therefore, Hanuman's solution, shrinking his size to exit her mouth, is a classical move in fluid dynamics, reducing the frontal surface area to minimize the drag. As we peel back the layers of these ancient verses, the line between mythology and physics begins to blur. The descriptions of shock waves, atmospheric layers, trajectories, and mass manipulation are too consistent to be dismissed as mere coincidence. Was it advanced science described through the poetic vocabulary of divinity, or was it pure divine power that happens to align with the laws of the universe? Could it be that our ancestors possessed a Vedic science that achieved through internal mastery what we today achieve through external machines? What do you think? Was Hanuman the world's first living rocket? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Thank you for listening to us. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel for more such notable videos.